A little over 13 months ago, Nike released this, the Phantom Venom, which was unofficially the return of power boots for the Nike brand, because this technically hasn't been marketed as a power boot, but the precision power striking element is something that we have not seen on a Nike football boot since the T90 Laser series, which of course was taken over by Hypervenom and then replaced by Phantom Venom. When this boot came out, it was legitimately your only option for something that could at all be considered a power boot. But since then, Adidas has released the latest generation of Predator, which I think at the moment is the truest thing to those old school power boots, with its very unique and honestly very effective demon skin rubber spike elements that basically span the entire upper. As far as aggressive power boots go, the Predator just beats out the Phantom Venom by quite a large margin. So the question is, what's next for the Venom line? This is now the oldest boot from the Nike brand, and given that they seem to have shortened the life cycle of all their boots from 2 years to about a year and a half, it does seem like this is likely to be the next boot in line to get a replacement, and we're already seeing pros in training in what looks to be the next generation of the Phantom Venom. The question is, can they match the aggressiveness of the current Predator with the next generation Phantom Venom? And based on these pictures, probably not. To be honest, I'm actually slightly disappointed. So based on these remarkably clear images of pretty much every single angle of what are clearly blacked out Nike boots, I want to go over everything that we can see, everything that we can make out, and also some opinions of my own in regards to the direction of the Phantom Venom series, which, guys, I follow the leaks. I'm aware of the name that is out there. I'm not supposed to talk about it on camera, but I'm sure you guys will leave it down below in the comments. Either way, it does look like it will still be called a Nike Phantom something. I really don't understand why Nike's so stuck on this Phantom thing. Call it a T90 and I think people would be a lot more excited. So starting off with the upper, I would say that the shape of this boot does look reminiscent of the current Phantom Venom. So as far as general fit is concerned, it's difficult to say whether or not that's going to be tweaked, but the upper itself does appear to be Flyknit pretty much all the way through. It's very clear that it's exposed Flyknit across the top of the laces, as well as extending into what is kind of like a mid to low cut collar type area. But as far as the rest of the upper is concerned, obviously there's some kind of a top layer, whether that's polyurethane or some new texturing or material that we've never seen before from the Nike brand. I think it's probably about a 90% chance that the base material of this upper is Flyknit, given the fact that Nike doesn't seem to make any football boot anymore that isn't Flyknit, which is a bit of a shame because Nike's had some really good synthetics over the years, and I understand Flyknit is great and all, but I'd like to see something other than another Flyknit boot. Which brings us to the power boot aspect of what I'm sure is a boot that will not be marketed as a power boot, and that is the very clear off-centered lacing system, which is a carryover element from the current Phantom Venom, but it seems to have been taken to a new extreme with this next generation. And you'll also notice they have gotten rid of the completely useless lace cover, thank God. As far as the lacing setup is concerned, obviously they've created a one-piece enclosure with that Flyknit tongue area, so it now uses a dual lace hole setup. It's hard to say whether or not they're using any kind of fly wire cables as a structure or reinforcement element like you find on the Phantom Venom currently, but I highly doubt it based on how these boots look. Either way, they have left the entire area where you would strike the ball on the medial side left completely flat, but you will see if you look very closely that there is some kind of a texturing, some kind of bumpiness happening in that area where you currently have the precision power striking element, which is kind of like a striking element that is shaped like what we've seen so many times in the past from the Nike brand on the T90 series. This, I think, being most similar to something like a T90 Laser 4, but it's not actually made out of rubber, and the amount of extra grip through this surface texturing is relatively minimal. This just has a nice solid impact in terms of feel on the ball, but that's about all it does in terms of overall effectiveness. Now, I am hesitant to say that the striking element on this next generation Venom is going to be anywhere near as effective as the demon skin spikes on the current Predators. I am hopeful that whatever is on the surface of this Flyknit upper is going to be really, really grippy, because I think that having that additional grip is part of what makes the power boot experience unique and special versus other football boots out there. But I guess it's also entirely possible that they're just going to go with some minimal texturing, claim it to be this super amazing thing in terms of power and accuracy when striking the ball, but ultimately something that's not that effective. Again, based on pictures, it's very difficult to say. This, to me, almost just looks like the 3D texturing Flyknit upper that we had on the Magista Obra 2. But again, what they've done on the surface as far as texture and grip is concerned is something that we're really not going to know until the boots actually come out. I'll also say that I'm not a huge fan of how this collar looks and the general cut of the boot. I really feel like it should have been a low like the current Phantom Venom. I guess it's possible we could get a low cut and a mid cut version as Nike has done in the past with the Hyper Venom series and as they currently do right now with the Mercurial series. But I just feel like the collar that they've gone with, not that it looks bad, but I do think that it makes the boot look a little bit chunkier than it perhaps need to, and I just kind of view it as somewhat of an unnecessary thing. And of course, for those that will ask, does this new Phantom Venom have ACC technology? Well, from a distance you can't really tell, but if you zoom in, it's clearly there. Moving to the base, you'll find a sole plate and stud pattern design that is very Mercurial-esque in terms of its design. It still features these kind of chevron style bladed studs like the current Phantom Venom, but it appears to be a brand new layout and completely different sole plate tooling. You'll notice on the current Venom that you have 4 of these bladed studs on either side, and I've often compared this stud pattern to what we have on the Mercurial series in terms of being very, very aggressive, but it seems like they've taken it one step further with this next generation Venom, where it just now has 3 studs on either side of the forefoot, probably 1 support stud in the middle. It's difficult to see that part, but they're angled in such a way where, again, it is more speed boot-esque, more Mercurial-esque, which isn't all that surprising, and honestly something that I don't mind. 4 studs in the heel, that doesn't appear to have changed at all. And as far as the sole plate itself is concerned, to me, this kind of looks like it is a split sole construction, but it's very difficult to say given that everything has been blacked out. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, but if this next Phantom Venom did come with a split sole, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me. Which leads us into the final question that I'm sure a lot of you guys are asking, and that is, when will this new Phantom Venom actually be available? Well, you have to realize it is a Euro Cup year, and typically around big international tournaments, big boot brands want to have new boots to release. So if I were betting, I would expect this boot to release probably within a month of the Euro Cup tournament starting, so players who are currently wearing the Phantom Venom can get used to these new Venoms and obviously wear them throughout the Euro. That's probably going to be their big boot release. It also wouldn't surprise me if we see another new model from Nike come Euro 2020, but only time will tell. And as far as price is concerned, the current retail of the Phantom Venom Elite is $250. This new boot, however, does have a Flyknit collar, and if there's one thing that we've learned from Nike over the last couple of years, it's that boots that have Flyknit collars don't retail for $250, they retail for $275. So it wouldn't surprise me if this new Phantom Venom was $25 more expensive, but again, until the boots come out, we won't really know. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Leave them down below in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, perhaps want to see more of these boot spotting style vids, don't forget to support this one with a like. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next one.